up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks Livestream edition. And you know, when I do my live streams on Mondays and Fridays, I try to have my girl Kelly with me. What's going on?
Hey, girl. How's it going? How was your weekend?
It was good, girl. How was yours?
It was pretty good. Didn't do too much.
What you do?
We watched that show on Amazon Prime, Cross, the new Alex Cross show. And that was pretty much it. It was chilled.
Okay,
It was good though. The show's pretty good. I recommend it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. So the show she's talking about is Cross, is based in DC. It gives a little bit of DC history and all that good stuff. So I didn't do much other than, I put up a video, and then after that I just really just spent some family time, looked up some logos and some merch stuff I got coming up. So I did that. And that's pretty much what I did. Just kind of working, but still kind of relaxing. And then I watched my Redskins get beat by the Cowboys.
Oh, that's who they played. Okay, I didn't know that. See, we're Eagles fans in this house, so I didn't know. I don't keep up with the skit.
Yeah.
The Eagles won.
Yeah, I know. Some teams like Dallas, I absolutely despise.
Of course.
But Eagles, I'm all right.
We can agree on that. We can agree on that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah. But Dallas, no.
Yeah.
Despise it. But all right. So I wanted to come on today and talk about a lot of different topics, a lot of things that went on over the weekend, a lot of things that we don't get to really get into when, I do my videos, because, videos is a little time constraint. On the lives, we could talk about whatever. So I want to get into our first topic. All right. So the first topic here is Black women and them saving the world. Okay.
Mhm.
So The View today had a whole discussion, about pushing back and being the Trump resistance. Okay. And I guess because you know how Joe Biden, he has, kind of been quiet. Everybody that kept saying that Trump was a threat to democracy has been totally quiet. No one's saying anything. No one's saying he's a threat to democracy. Kamala is on vacation in Hawaii.
Mhm.
And I love the way Tulsi Gabbard says that. She like, I say Hawaii. So
Oh, right. That is how you're supposed to say it. Yeah.
she said, I guess because, she's indigenous, so she knows the correct way to say it. But yeah, she's on vacation. I guess she's supposed to come back this week or whatever, but I doubt if we see her at all.
And that's okay.
No, I'm totally fine with it. Like,
Yeah,
I'm totally fine with it. So The View, like I said, The View had their own analysis of everything, but something that, again, that stuck out to me was when they started, no, let me take that back. When Sunny started to talk about Black women and how they feel about the resistance and this election. And then I think her name is Alyssa. She jumped in it. And lately, she's been inching out a little bit on her Republican side,
Mhm.
because just throughout the year, she's been like really kind of giving me liberal vibes. But all of a sudden now she's, coming out, inching out more on her Republican side. Her and Anna, but Anna's still a little Trump deranged over there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I want to play this, and then I want to come back and talk about it. Here we go.
I think that's true. there were a couple of articles over the weekend about how Black women in particular were dealing with this, because we know that 9 out of 10 Black women voted for Kamala Harris, and that historically Black women are sort of the backbone of the Democratic Party, right? And so 92% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris. So you have 92% of Black women very disappointed and feeling some of the things that you are feeling. So I think people are taking a moment to take care of themselves. Self-care is really big. I think they're also reevaluating how they want to engage in this democracy. She's a friend of mine, but Latasha Brown is also the co-founder of the national voting rights group Black Voters Matter. And while a lot of people said that Stacey Abrams was sort of the architect of Georgia going blue, it was actually Latasha Brown that was on the ground, and Stacey Abrams has admitted that. And Latasha said this weekend: America is going to have to save herself. Mm-hmm. She said, people can rely on Black women to lead change, but the next 4 years will look different. That's not a Herculean task. That's for us. We don't want that title. I have no goals to be a martyr for a nation that cares nothing about me. And I think a lot of Black women are feeling that way. So,
all right. So before I let the other lady chime in, what's your thoughts on what Sunny just said?
I think it is a bunch of dribble. I think it is ridiculous. I just don't. I'm just so sick of this victim mentality. Like, oh, Black women are feeling so disappointed in which I'm sure a lot of Black women that voted for Harris are. But I just feel like when you keep talking this race stuff, it just shows me that you don't get it, because everybody is not the same. I mean, she's a mixed race person herself. Just saying Black women will not, first of all, the 9 out of the 10, we've discussed that. I don't believe it's 9 out of the 10. I would say,
I know.
I think 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. I think
Yeah. I don't
that
think it's a huge thing,
I
but
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's that high. Because like I said, I mean, I'm in deep blue. We're both in a very deep blue state. We are both of color. I have other friends that are, Black females that voted for Trump. So I don't believe that at all. And as far as this save the world mentality, I'm not even going to lie to you, Mika. I have never heard this Black women being the base of the Democratic Party until this cycle. And I live relatively close to Washington, D.C. So I don't know where that even came from. Like, maybe I was missing those memos or something. I don't know. But I'll let you go on. But I'm like, this is some new stuff here.
No, you're sorry, I dropped my phone. No, you're exactly correct, right? So here's the thing. I think that a lot of the times Black women, um I was gonna say something else, but you know what? I'll say this. Black women right now to me have a, a complex of um they think because, they have reached, I guess, a pinnacle of, being educated or the most enrolled, however you want to skew that.
Mm-hmm.
They have that, and they have, a lot of job opportunities. Like a lot of them are getting, these high paying jobs and things like that. I think they're taking that to do, well, let's go on and, say we're the ones saving the Black community and things like that, when they're looking at it individualistic instead of looking at it as a community.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you look at it, right, Black women and Black men literally have the biggest, like the biggest divide when it comes to family. Now, as far as politically, they said they voted Black men voted 79%.
Yeah. They said it was like 20% of the Black male vote went to Trump, where I've heard as low as 7% to 9% for the Black female vote went to Trump. And I think
Yeah.
both of those are wrong. I
Yeah,
think
I think it's probably a 70-30 with Black men, and it's
yes.
probably maybe a 80-10.
Yeah,
with,
I
Black
think
women.
it's like 15%. 15% of Black women
Yeah, yeah,
voted for
yeah.
Trump. Yeah, that's what
I
I
don't think it's a lot, but, whatever. 90-10, that's what I meant to say, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, here's my thinking, right? My thinking is that Black women are figuring, because most of them really do put all their eggs in the basket to the Democratic Party, that they think that how they're thinking is for everybody.
Yeah.
And I can't understand the logic of not splitting up your vote,
Yes. I
right?
agree. I
So
agree.
you only think one way. And I hear Black women all the time, "Oh, well, we're not monolithic and this." That's what mono is. The word mono literally means one.
Mhm.
So you're only voting for one party. How are you saving the world? Like, the super saver complex that a lot of them have is crazy.
Right. And it
And
doesn't make sense to me
it's like,
because
if you're actually okay, so if you're actually the leader, then why haven't you figured out that it needs to be 50-50? Because if you even look at the chart that Joy had put up that time, she was, spouting all that stuff about white women didn't help and Latinos didn't help. If you look at that chart, everybody else gave at least a 60-40 or 50-50 split.
yeah, I'm gonna
You
say it.
gave 92% of your vote to one person.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go with my stat, which is the 85%. 85%, 85% of these women, in my opinion, they are voting this way and you're not getting anything out of it. And this is what why I don't really I say what Sunny said was dribble is because you and I have seen the charts since Obama. The black people have been leaving the Democratic Party a little bit. We saw it with Hillary Clinton, didn't get the numbers. Biden, even with Biden got, I want to say, 92% of the black vote, but it wasn't as much. Like when it was with Obama, it was like the highest it's ever been, and then it had gotten a little bit low and a little bit lower every election cycle. This one was the biggest drop. Like even the fact that if we go
Yeah,
with her stat of 9% of black females going for Harris, I mean going for Trump, that's still the largest it's ever
that's
been
still a
for
lot.
Republican. So,
Mhm.
and let's keep it a buck. I don't even know why she's saying, black women feel so defeated or they're feeling like, they're the backbone. If 100% of black women voted for Trump, Harris still would have lost. So how can you be the backbone of a political party if even with 92% it made no difference? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
just kind of
but
crazy.
and that's because it makes no difference, because you're you're as a whole, Black people are excuse me, Black people are what, 13%, 14% of the
Mhm,
population?
mhm,
Okay, so as a whole, you're only a small portion of the population, about 49 to 50 something million.
mhm.
Okay. So you're that already. And then if you slice that in half and just take the women, that makes that pool even smaller.
Right.
Yeah, now you're 20 something million strong. Like, that's not going to do it in a country of 300 million.
I didn't get it. If anything, I would say white. I could see if she said white women were the backbone. I don't see how black women are the
Oh,
black.
no, she's saying they're the backbone because they're the only ones that will stand back there for that BS
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah.
not get nothing for it.
Mhm.
Now, they made the case, that white women stood with the patriarchy, but white women split their vote.
Yeah.
They literally split their vote. So the ones that, because I kept telling people this, I said, I don't care what y'all say. Those white women that are in the suburbs with their husbands are not going to be voting for no Kamala Harris.
Mhm.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Their husbands are usually the breadwinners, or their husbands work businesses, entrepreneur uh businesses, and Things like even the blue collar workers and or even the people, you know, that have things like contracts that they're not voting for Kamala Harris.
Mhm. I agree.
So I already knew that was coming.
Mhm.
And it's usually single white educated women
Mhm.
that are usually more democratic because, you know, they tend to lean on more social things than, you know, economic.
Correct.
So I kind of knew that split already, but that's still a split.
Mhm.
This is saying that educated black women, uneducated, this is how Sunny likes to talk, uneducated, when it just means non-college, but
Mhm.
um college black women, non-college black women, and any other kind of black woman you want to throw in there, married, not single, whatever. They're all voting for the same person.
Mhm.
And outside of I guess reproductive rights, which, you know, we can have that conversation all day long. What was it specifically that she was giving for black women? Outside of that, she
Oh,
was an
I'll tell you
AKA.
what. They wanted to see someone that looked like them in the White House. That is not even like them. It's that's what I think it is because I hear everybody saying, well, all these women that feel so defeated, they are really crashing out saying, "Do you hate me that much?" We saw the video. Do you
Oh,
hate
yeah,
me
yeah,
that
I did a
much?
whole thing on that.
You know, like
Why?
yeah, they wanted someone to look like them, and people are gonna really not like me when I say this. To me, it's kind of pathetic. Like, I don't
Yeah.
my life is good. I'm gonna say it. My life is good. I don't need anybody in the White House to look like me so I can pretend that that's me in the White House. I no. How about you? How about you cut these taxes so I can have more money? Like and for me, I think black people don't care enough about money for me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it. Like I wanted to be.
Here's the thing. eh, I think they do, but I think they're not thinking of it from the standpoint of, you know, businesses. They think of money from the social economic standpoint, meaning, you know, social programs, affirmative action to, you know, DEI, that we're having that whole
There's
thing, you
there
know.
is a group. There is a group of black people that think like that, but where we live, our area, I don't think
Yeah,
that's what they're thinking of. I really,
no,
yeah, I don't think that they're thinking about
but
those people
they
and
will
like
now
image.
those you mean like the affluent.
Yes,
So
yes,
yeah,
yes.
so they will take it from a point of, well, and this is kind of what, you know, this is kind of what I see and just, you know, outside looking in, right? When there are white groups, white groups will separate themselves, right?
Mhm,
So they'll have, you know, poor whites and they'll have you know, upper class, middle class whites, things like that, right? And they tend to all vote differently.
mhm.
But again, the black subset, they will just go ahead and a lot of them will vote against their interests.
It's because it's a tradition. Yeah, it's a tradition. For me, I don't know. I just red pilled myself and I woke up and I vote
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I've
I vote
always
my
been
interest.
independent,
Yeah.
but
I always
um
was moderate. I will say this, like I
yeah,
always was moderate, but I was like, I really don't support this stuff, and I'm just gonna vote accordingly, and that's the way it went. And what I don't like what Sunny does, and what Joy Reid and a lot of these other pundits. First of all, I don't like them speaking for black people, for all black people. It really kind of annoys me, particularly when I'm not trying to be rude or anything. But Sunny isn't even like she's does she even have a black parent? I know she has a Puerto Rican parent. Is the other parent black?
she has a black grandparent.
Okay, so I'm like, I know she's half Puerto Rican. I
She
don't
no,
know.
she's according to PBS and their DNA, she's like 70 something percent Spaniard.
Then I
And
think she
then
needs to be quiet. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not trying to be funny. I feel like, and I'm not saying
and
people
then the rest
can't
is
speak on
all
things.
the mixed stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying people can't speak on things. I think you can speak on topics. I think anybody can speak on certain
Right.
things. But she speaks on things like she is a member of that group. It would have made more sense if this came from Whoopi. in my opinion. And again,
Correct.
I feel that same way about Joy Reid. Joy Reid, you are Haitian American. And she
Correct.
speaks like she is, you know,
She
a Black
speaks like she's
American,
what do they call it?
Black
Foundational
foundational
Black American.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. She talks like that. When ma'am, you're sitting on MSNBC as not an African American,
yeah,
you know, or Black American.
yeah.
You're sitting on MSNBC as an immigrant.
But they are race hustlers. Like that's the thing. Like all they do is
Mhm.
talk about race. If they didn't obsess on the race stuff so much, it really wouldn't even bother me. But the fact that they do it so much, that's to me what's kind of annoying. Because like you said, we are not a monolith. So her speaking this way, like it really kind of makes Black women sound dumb because you're speaking as if we are a monolith. Like, oh, this is the way we all vote, and that's not
Yeah, and she puts
the
it
reality.
and you know, as a as a fellow mixed person, I will say this. If she wants to identify as Black and Black people are gonna let her identify as Black, that is fine, right?
Hmm.
But the thing about it is that's not her experience.
Correct. Correct.
So being that it's not her experience, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And
Hmm.
she's looking at it from, the same lens that white liberals look at it.
Hmm. Hmm. And she does it a lot. Like she does it. She said those crazy Black men. Imagine if Anna Navarro said that, or Alyssa said that, or Joy
Oh, I
Behar
know.
said that. Like, what
I
is
know.
the heck is wrong with you? Like that was
I
crazy.
know.
That was crazy
I
work.
know. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's why like I said, I'm always very conscious of how far, I put stuff. I can put things in a perspective. I grew up in DC, things like that. But at the end of the day, I understand, the ramifications that, somebody else might have, that's not my lived experience
Hmm.
because of how I grew up.
Hmm.
She talks as if she grew up as a Black person.
I know.
She speaks fluent Spanish. Her family lived in the Bronx, and we all know what the Bronx is. The Bronx is Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. That's all it is.
Hmm.
So,
I
but
don't know.
because she's a little browner, she throws herself in there just like Kamala.
Yeah,
And
I don't like
they
it.
they
I don't
they
like
race host.
it. Hmm.
Huh?
I said I don't like it. Like just knock it
Yeah.
off.
So now I'm gonna play Alyssa's response because Alyssa had a little jab in there that I thought was so funny. But we're gonna play her response. Here we go.
I feel a bit different because God's honest truth, I kind of always thought Trump would win until maybe the final days just because it felt like Kamala Harris had this real momentum. But the signs were there. And I have a very diverse friend group, family, like people who vote different ways. And I have felt like there was a yearning in this country that people wanted Donald Trump back. And the most common thing I heard this entire election cycle was, I don't like his personality. I don't like the way he talks, but my life was better when he was in office. And I'm in this position where I feel a bit unburdened by what has been. I'm going to wait and see. He's not been sworn in yet. I'm somebody who probably agrees with 75% of his policies. If he focuses on creating jobs, on bringing down the cost of living, securing the border in a responsible way, and being tough on America's adversaries, I'm all for it. What doesn't mean we're not going to call balls and strikes when he does things that are beyond the pale or he uses words that are offensive to people, then be ready to call that out. But I just think I'm kind of shying away from this sort of apocalyptic, it's all we need to be like losing sleep over it. The American system of government is strong. It's held. There are checks and balances, even if my party's in control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. I think we should I root for America. So I root for a smart, serious Donald Trump presidency. And I root for pushback when he doesn't do things that are smart.
I think all those things are great to dream about.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I really don't have anything to say. I don't think she said anything crazy. It made sense to me. I I don't know where she got the idea. And again, I think these people are in an echo chamber where she thought that there was a point where she thought Kamala was going to win. If she had said that, right after the debate, okay. But she said like closer to I think didn't she say like closer to the election date? She thought Kamala was going to win. And I'm like, I don't know where, because I guess maybe because I was paying attention to the polls. Maybe they don't pay attention to the polls. That was the only part that I thought was pretty wild. But as an American, I do think, and I will say this: I don't like the fear mongering. I think like now the election is over. I think if these people had a shred of decency or any type of soul, I think that they should have a little bit more of the Alyssa approach where they can have this is at the end of the day, this is the president. If Harris had won, I would genuinely want that woman to be the best president because if she's not, then we are all negatively affected. So to continue with this like nasty rhetoric, like, oh well, we're gonna what do they say? We're gonna F around and find out. Like I just think that's really not good. And
Oh, that's all in my comment section, from the liberals. They're like,
oh
"Yeah, I yeah," and I was late to that acronym because I kept seeing it, and I was like, "What is that?"
yeah,
You
and
know, and I had to go look it up, and I was like, "Oh, that phrase." Yeah.
it's so dumb to me because if I find out, you find out. We're both in the country together. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't.
Except for Ellen.
Oh yeah, she's skedaddled, and I think Tom.
And she's talking about, "Oh, I left because of Donald Trump." No, ma'am, you left because of P. Diddy.
Okay, period.
Like, let's get that clear. And you talking about you left because of the right. No, you left because of the left, because they canceled you, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they
Mm-hmm.
canceled Ellen.
That's
They said that you were a
right.
horrible boss.
That's right. That was the left. You're right. You're right.
Mhm. That
Mhm.
wasn't a right. We
We don't do
we
that
don't care
kind
about
of
Ellen.
stuff. Yeah, we don't really do that. I'll just
I I
quietly
I don't
not
watch
support
Ellen.
you. Yeah.
I don't have nothing against Ellen, but I
Mhm.
don't watch Ellen.
I haven't
So,
watched the show in a long time.
when I heard about, all that stuff, I was like, "Man, now they coming out to Ellen. I thought that's their girl." So, yeah, it's all a mess. But yeah, I just wanted to know, really quickly what you would have thought about that because I didn't think Alyssa said anything wrong,
I
but you
didn't
know
see anything wrong
how
either. Yeah.
they all are.
Mhm.
So, okay, so I want to move on to the next thing here. So, as we know, Nikki, not Nicki Minaj, Nikki Haley, because they know me and they'll be like, "Here she goes, she gonna talk about Nicki Minaj." But Nikki Haley,
You're not a
uh,
barb?
I am. That's why I said
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm a barb.
I had to make sure I said Nikki because when I go Nikki, they be like, "Oh God."
Yeah, I'm a
All the
barb.
people they always say, "Oh, Mika would be so perfect if she didn't like Nicki Minaj." I'm like,
Oh, I
I
like
like
Nikki.
her raps.
Yeah, I
What's
like
wrong with
her.
that?
I think she's funny.
Oh my god. But yeah, Nikki Haley, who's just I think she threw a little salt in the game at the end of Trump's campaign because I remember when she kept saying, "Oh, you can't speak to women like that,"
Mhm.
and why are you speaking to women like that? So I remember all of that. But it was something about like Nikki Haley that just seems real bitter, right? Something about them not being able to rekindle whatever they had, and as working together.
Mhm.
And she started to seem real bitter because she was just going on, I mean, all types of platforms just talking about Donald Trump.
Mhm.
So I guess she has like her own
Tulsi Gabbard.
podcast or something here, and on
Saw that. I
Sirius.
didn't know. I didn't know she had her own podcast.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Sirius is they're giving a lot of people, stuff,
Look, if they don't
but
give her a podcast, they can give you a podcast.
man, who you telling? Because they
I'm just
they
saying.
they're just like nonsense.
Yeah.
But so she has her own podcast and she's talking about um everything, that happened with the election. I want you to hear what she had to say about Tulsi, right? Now,
Mhm.
mind you, she talked a little bit about everybody, just the picks in general, like everybody is, but she specifically did a rant on Tulsi.
Okay.
So I want you to see what she said about Tulsi. So here we go.
Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. Now, everybody loves that she is now saying she's a Republican. But I have always said, let's look at what they've said, what their actions are. DNI, that is the president's top intelligence advisor. It's supposed to fairly represent the views of 18 separate intelligence agencies and units. It has the authority over $100 billion annual U.S. spy budget. $100 billion U.S. annual spy budget. And it holds sway over which secrets we declassify. That's a big deal. This is a job for an honest broker without any pronounced policy biases. So hold that thought for a second. What are the facts about Tulsi Gabbard? She opposed ending the Iran nuclear deal. She opposed sanctions on Iran. She opposed designating the Iran military as terrorists who say death to America every single day. She said that Donald Trump turned the U.S. into Saudi Arabia's prostitute. This is going to be the future head of our national intelligence. In Congress, Tulsi criticized Trump's authoritarian strike against Qasem Soleimani. Now, I will remind you, he was considered the master of death in Iran. She said he had no justification whatsoever for killing him. She tried to limit Trump's war powers against Iran. She tried to cut our annual defense budget so that we couldn't punish Iran and hinder their influence. Reminder, Iran is our #1 sponsor of terrorism, and Tulsi Gabbard was defending Iran. She went to Syria in 2017 for a photo op with Bashar al-Assad while he was massacring his own people. She said she was skeptical that he was behind the chemical weapons attacks. Now, this to me is disgusting because, Cheney, you and I were at the United Nations when Assad did those chemical attacks on those children.
Yep.
And you can go back and look at a speech I gave holding up pictures of dead children who had been killed by chemical attacks.
Yep, choked to death.
For her to say that Assad was not behind that, literally everything she said about that were Russian talking points. Every bit of that. That was Russian propaganda. After Russia invaded Ukraine, Tulsi Gabbard literally blamed NATO. Our Western alliance that's responsible for countering Russia, she blamed NATO for the attack on Ukraine. And the Russians and the Chinese echoed her talking points and her interviews on Russian and Chinese television. Tulsi Gabbard pushed for dropping charges against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and pardoning National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden, both whom were accused of leaking highly sensitive U.S. secrets that put Americans in danger. She called for Trump to end the destructive trade war with China. So now she's defended Russia, she's defended Syria, she's defended Iran, and she's defended China. Now, she has not denounced any of these views, none of them. She hasn't taken one of them back. DNI, Department of National Intelligence, this is not a place for a Russian, Iranian, Syrian, Chinese sympathizer.
She said a mouthful, okay? So
Yeah.
I definitely want to get your thoughts on that.
Okay, so as far as I'm okay, I actually think Tulsi Gabbard being the DNI director is a good pick. Tulsi Gabbard, this is what I liked about it. She's a disruptor. She was on a secret, remember, was she on that the secret no-fly list that nobody knew about? Remember, secret. So she's going in there, in my opinion, because I don't know, I never talked to this woman. She's going into this position with a chip on her shoulder. So if anybody, that's the person I trust the most with what you should keep secret and what should be public, because they kind of backdoored her. Well, actually, she was put on that list as retaliation for cooking Kamala Harris at that debate. And when Kamala, that's why she got put
She
on that
cooked
list.
her.
She
She
cooked her.
cooked her.
When Harris got the VP, next thing she knows, she's on that note, that secret terrorist watch list. And every time she go to the airport, which is quite frequently, they're checking her stuff. It's a mess. And this person is a lieutenant major, I believe. So she's gone through background checks. I mean, for her to be Congress, I'm pretty sure she would have, being in the Air Force, excuse me, being in the service, I'm sure she has at least a secret clearance. Being in Congress, I would wager a TS, top secret. So this whole notion of her not being trustworthy or compromised, or this, that, and the third, I think it's just ridiculous. And I really can understand why Nikki Haley feels a certain type of way, because she's a war hawk. She wants everybody to go to war. And as far as her comments, as far as why the whole thing with NATO being responsible for Ukraine, the war with Ukraine, 100% I agree with that. I think most Americans, well, yeah, most Americans do feel that way. That's why they voted for Trump. I would wager a lot of them. So, I mean, towards the end of her rant, I said, "Is this an endorsement for Tulsi Gabbard?" Because everything you're saying, that's what I want to hear. And the fact that this woman was actually active duty, like was, a soldier, actually was defending her country. That's someone that I think is going to take into account soldiers. And Trump, we know that's why we voted for Trump. Trump, war is the last resort. Whereas with this other administration and prior administrations, they're so eager to go to war. And again, Nikki Haley, you love war. You're a war hawk. So the fact that you don't like Tulsi makes me feel even better about it. That's how I feel. I don't know.
So you hit it right on the money. But here's the other thing that I feel, right? So I also feel like, how can I say? I also feel that, one, like I said earlier, Nikki is she's still salty. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, she was like one of the only Republicans that didn't get invited to Mar-a-Lago, even if, they weren't going to get a position.
Mm-hmm. Good.
But yes, exactly. But it's exactly what you said. She's a war hawk. And
Mm-hmm.
Trump understood that. And
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't want that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because she's going to undermine him. She did it during the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She can't be
Like,
trusted.
no, she can't be trusted. So you have that. But just like you were talking about towards the end of her rant, right? She got to talking about Julian Assange and she got to talking about Edward Snowden.
I'm glad I meant to say this. Tulsi was right on that.
Yes.
That,
Yes.
that whole Julian
Yes.
Assange thing. I
That's
don't know if
exactly
you
where
know,
I'm
but
going.
what was
Mhm.
the guy? Are we going to talk about Mike Pompeo?
No, go ahead.
Mike Pompeo, and this is from Tucker Carlson. So this isn't, Kelly Curran saying this. Tucker Carlson said this on his show. Mike Pompeo wanted to unalive Julian Assange. No orders.
Yeah.
Just wanted to just go
They
ahead
were trying
and
to
do
get
that.
rid of
And
him.
nothing, Julian Assange, what did he do? He released documents. He didn't act.
So
It wasn't
he shouldn't have been
yeah, yeah,
charged at
yeah.
all, because he shouldn't have been charged at all because
Right.
the the charge that he's charged with is for people who actually steal those documents. So
Right.
WikiLeaks is just a hub where if you have documents and you want to leak them,
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
right? It's the same as it's the same, and he's a journalist, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same as when CNN get a hold of some Trump document and they're like, our source insider says this document here is da da da
Mm-hmm.
da 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 da.
Right. Right. I knew him being locked up was all like, it was
They
unjust.
want to say that it was classified, but everything is classified. If the government didn't give it to you, it's classified.
Yeah. So
Right? Like
I'm
you have
like,
a government email, and if you send that email, it could be a regular email, and you send an email from your server and it gets out, it's the same thing, right? And you can be in trouble. So, I think the reason why is because Julian Assange was he was in on that. Remember when they were doing the drone strikes? When Barack was doing the drone strikes and he was saying, "Oh, it's just these people, it's just these people," and they find out that they had American citizens.
yes.
And they killed that guy over there that was an American citizen and then turned around and killed his 16-year-old son in a coffee shop.
We got to talk offline. I didn't know about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was big. So Julian Assange, exposed that. And then, he was also on Hillary's neck with the emails.
The Benghazi, yeah, I do remember that.
Yep. Where everybody found out about Benghazi and what actually happened over there. Yep. On top of that, the servers and just and then on top of that, Donna Brazile and giving her the answers and to the debate. That's why when people were saying the things about, Kamala Harris, they're like, "Oh, well, why would he think that that she got the answers? Because the other lady got the
Yeah, they
answers.
did it before.
Why wouldn't I think that?" And Donna Brazile kept saying, "Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't." And then when it came out, they want to have her resign. Now she's making a comeback because she was just on Bill Maher's episode.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So now she's making, a little comeback, but this is what's wrong with the DNC as a whole. They keep the same people around. They've turned into the party of the war hawks. Me personally, I think they probably was always the war party because they were for Vietnam and all the other good stuff. But nevertheless, going back to Nikki, she's talking about all of that, and she's not understanding that that's something that was against the American people that these people were doing. You're going into other countries, you're getting us involved in stuff, Barack with Syria, okay? Because
Right.
all Barack did was continue the policies of Bush. People like to, talk about Bush, but Barack Obama was just as much as a war hawk as Bush.
Oh yeah, he blew.
Or shall I say Dick Cheney, because that's who was running it.
Yeah.
But he's just as much as a war hawk. So when I hear all of that, I'm just like, you guys are being disingenuous.
I agree.
So, Nikki, to me, Nikki Haley is just yeah, I think she's good where she is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be mindful of the fact that this is YouTube, but so I choose my words carefully, but she's definitely she needs to stay where she is because
I agree with you. I agree with
in
you.
an administration where people want him to do stuff, she wouldn't do nothing but derail it. She would be General Kelly and all of them.
She's a neocon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we don't want. No, they are all about war and the military industrial complex, which that's not what we're on right now. So yeah, no, I'm with
Yeah,
you.
and they want to keep feeding it, and that's why we're on the verge of World War III. But luckily, Putin is crazy, but he's not so crazy that he understands that Trump is coming in, within a matter of a few weeks. So we'll see what he says before we go all out.
Right.
Which is, and I'm not particularly a fan of Putin, but it's I can give credit where credit is due. It's different to see, you know, somebody that could just say F it,
Mm-hmm.
to say, I'll wait, I'll hold off. Let's see what he say
Yes,
before.
and that's our saving grace, that
Mhm.
it's him coming in and not her coming in, you know? That's how
Yeah,
I feel about
because they I told people this all the time. You guys are talking about this lady is happy, 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 joy, joy. Kamala is not. Kamala was about to send your sons and your daughters, because they were trying to get a bill passed that would allow, you know, women to
Oh,
be.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So at the end of the day, no, no, ma'am. She got to go. She got to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I hope Kamala stay out there in Hawaii
Yeah.
and not come back. But yeah, I really don't like Nikki Haley. Like, I think she's at a point where she's out of touch, and she doesn't need to be anywhere near that White House. I'll let
Yes,
you have the last word on it.
we have enough neocons. We already got to deal with, not neocons. We got enough rhinos, neocons, whatever. We got enough of them. We got to deal with, she, like you said, and she getting this serious money, serious XM money. She doing all right. I'm a little jealous of that,
All
because
of them are all right. Like Barack Obama, you know, once he left the White House, you know, he came in as a quote unquote struggling junior senator
mm-hmm,
that only votes president. I'm president. President that only votes president, never has a actual yay or nay,
mm-hmm.
right? Because if you look up his voting record, it just says yay. It just says present, meaning I'm here.
Oh, I never looked it up.
Yeah.
So long ago.
His voting record in the Senate is non-existent.
Oh wow. Well, I do know he's
And
like a plant, like
yeah,
Harris. They're
yeah, he's a junior senator,
mm-hmm,
and they shot him straight because they knew they could play identity politics with that man. They
mm-hmm,
already knew it,
mm-hmm,
right? The country's on the brink of, you know, revolting, and it went right back. It went right back asleep
mm-hmm.
once they elected Barack Obama.
Yeah,
Everybody got happy, happy, joy, joy, hope and change. Okay.
and they knew they could, if they got a mixed guy, they can do whatever, have him do whatever they want, and nobody's gonna question anything, because, well, he's black, but then he's also white too, you know. And,
So what's his name? Charleston White, who you know, people have a love-hate relationship with. He
mm-hmm,
said something, you know, very prolific. He said the ruling class will never let their slaves run the White House. And
mm-hmm,
they didn't mean, a person that's half black, half white.
mm-hmm.
They meant somebody that is a foundational Black American, that is an American descendant of a slave. Barack Obama is not.
I think Charleston White may be onto something.
Yes, yes.
Because
And I tell people
it
this
is
all the
Kamala
time,
is supposed to be a Obama 2.0.
because why are the
It wasn't
so-called black
charismatic.
people that they keep giving you, why are they always mixed?
Mm-hmm.
And
No, I peeped that. Yeah, I
their
definitely
mix
peeped that.
never comes from America.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, with Obama, his mom, the white side, was American. Harris
The white, the
was
white.
nowhere, but yeah. Oh no,
And
not
the
the
and the
black.
black
Mm-hmm.
is African.
Right, right. No, Charleston White is on to something. Yeah, he's right. I agree with
Now, you know, but me and you, we both don't think Kamala is black, but
you. Right,
let's just
right.
call her black.
Mm-hmm. But
She's not
she's still
American
not
either.
foundational Black American. Doesn't mean
There
that.
you go.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah. She's not.
There you go.
Nope.
So, I mean, so yeah, when he said it, I said those are my sentiments. That's
Mm-hmm.
you know, he came up with a phrase for it, but hey,
Yeah.
those were my exact sentiments. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it, and that's pretty much what it is. Because I said, if y'all really wanted a black woman, why didn't y'all put Stacey Abrams in there?
Yes, they could have put Susan Rice, Keisha Lance Bottoms. I can't think of anybody else. You get
I
what
don't
I'm
like
saying.
none of these. I don't like none of these chicks,
It
but
doesn't matter,
they,
but they're all black.
they would have been
They're
black.
all black. They're all black. And they have experience. You know,
Yes, they
so
actually have
yeah.
done something
Mhm.
that you can
Yeah.
actually look up on paper, whether you like their policies or not.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But
No,
no,
like,
and poor Stacy, she's just out there stumping. And Sonny had the nerve to sit up there and mention Stacy. And I'm like, y'all really don't like poor Stacy. Like, what y'all got against Stacy?
oh, I didn't know she mentioned her. People like
Yeah.
Oprah donated 10 million to her campaign.
So Stephen A made a good point about that.
Mhm.
It's funny that you say that. Stephen
Mhm.
A made a good point about that. Stephen A said, Oprah, you got all this money, right?
Mhm.
However, you got all this money and decided that you, when it came to Kamala, you were going to ask for money instead. But you have a history of giving. You
Well,
gave to Stacey Abrams, you gave to Barack Obama, you gave to what's that lady? I forget her daggone name. But anywho, you have a history of giving,
mhm.
especially to Black women.
Mhm.
I'm
Well,
gonna tell you right now, Oprah was like, "Give me my money, because this lady ain't Black, and I don't even like her."
we talked about it on your show. If you really support a candidate, you don't need a check. You don't need a check because you really support them. You know, those people that came out and supported Trump, it hasn't come out, and I think it would have come out. I don't think anybody got paid.
Joe Rogan ain't paying no Trump.
No, you mean Trump is not paying Joe Rogan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it would have
Yeah.
came out. It would have came out in the FTC whatever already. No,
Right.
Dave
Right.
he didn't pay Dave
That's
Ramsey.
why when
So daggone well he ain't paid no Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey don't need a check. Dave Ramsey knows his reputation. If y'all not familiar with Dave Ramsey, he's really
right.
big on YouTube. A guy, what is he? Helps people get out of debt, that type of thing. Trump went on there, talked about his plan. Dave Ramsey came out, gave his endorsement, and Dave Ramsey again, he walks the walk. Helping people get. I personally have a friend that followed his plan and got out of debt. And she voted Trump too, by the way. Black woman, just saying. So, I just feel like, yeah, those people they wanted that money because they didn't really support that lady. Like that's just what I think.
No, nobody likes that lady. But which is the reason
Mhm.
why Roland Martin and all this other, like the Boule just wanted to be attached. That's why you had Angela Rye over there. Well, you know what? Angela Rye, I really, and shout out to everybody that watched that video. But Angela Rye, I really should just think she's deranged, one.
Yeah, but
But
she really liked Harris though. I do
that's
think
what I
that.
was getting ready to say.
Yeah,
I
I
think she
genuinely
really liked Kamala, and she
think she
thought
did too.
that
I think she
she
did
was
too.
gonna, sit up there, the mixed Boule girls. Thought
Mhm.
they were gonna sit up there and be at the White House and be the,
Sonny definitely liked Harris.
oh my gosh, I seen a video and I wish I could have caught it, because she was just like, oh, it was a lady in a car, and I guess she must have been talking to either a white lady or a white guy,
Mhm.
and they were recording it because she was very aggressive. And she rolled up on her on the side, and the lady rolled down the window, and she said, oh, y'all think y'all this and that, we're in power now, and yada yada yada. Yes, I said the white supremacy of it all. I'm gonna find that video, but
Yes,
the white
she said,
supremacy
"Had
of
enough
it
of
all,
these
I
Negroes."
swear. Uh-huh. She was like, "We're in charge now. Wait till we get it." And this was like around like the beginning of the honeymoon, when everybody was like, "Oh my God, Kamala," you know.
Uh-huh. That is
So
so
I
funny.
was just sitting there like, "Damn." Now, if they was like this MAGA country, y'all, but you can
Just
tell about it, and we in charge now. That's exactly what all y'all cared about. That's it.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
that's man, look.
That's
So
funny.
that's why I'm glad that lady is gone. It just, yeah,
Yeah, and she can have her vacation. Like, look,
yeah.
she tried. Cool. I don't hate on nobody going on vacation. Stay on vacation. I'm mad they brought
No,
Biden back.
I don't want her on vacation on my books, but
She got her own
whatever.
money. She got her own money. She need to be
Yeah, I
going
know, but she
over
ain't fly her own plane.
there. Wait, what?
Nah.
They put her on show. Wait, who playing
Yes,
Cheryl?
yes.
Are you serious, Mika?
Like, tell Dougie to get you a plane, girl.
Right. I know he got money. Oh,
So,
no.
one of the last topics I wanted to talk about here was a topic I keep talking about that is at a point to making me very angry because, people that know me know, like, I get real sensitive about children. Like, I'm very sensitive when it comes to children. Like, I have, I'm sympathetic to everything, but with children, I get angry.
Mhm.
When people harm them or anything like that. Like, it's just so. As we know, the border is wide open. The border is not secure. She has not been to the border. She's now been to Hawaii,
Mhm.
but she has not been to the border.
Mhm.
And the border is so wide open that everyone that's coming through is not just seeking asylum.
Right.
You have these traffickers coming through, terrorists, all of this stuff. And a lot of the people coming through as well are children.
Mhm.
So I wanted to get into this video that shows exactly what's really going on because people, especially on the left, have such a nuanced look at immigration and what they hear from deranged Reed, okay, joyless Reed,
Mhm.
and what they hear from not so sunny on the View. All
Mhm.
right, I want to show what's actually going on, what these children actually look like at the border. Here we go.
Vengo de El Salvador y voy para agosto.
Tengo 17 de El Salvador y voy para México.
So he's saying he's
Tengo 17 de El Salvador y
17.
voy para 38.
He's saying he's 17.
Tengo
He said
16
he's
y voy a
16.
Guatemala y voy a California. Tengo 16 y soy de Guatemala, voy para Cincinnati.
So these boys are all pretty much the same age,
17,
right? So they're teenage
¿Para dónde
boys.
vas?
He's saying he's going to Virginia.
Honduras, 14 años. Guatemala,
He's
15 años.
15. All
¿Para
right.
dónde vas aquí en los Estados
So
Unidos?
those are the
Estados
boys.
Unidos,
Then we get,
¿Qué parte vas?
Wisconsin.
Soy de
these are the
Honduras,
girls.
tengo 16 años y voy a Orlando, Florida.
She's going to Florida.
Tengo 17 años y voy para Nueva York.
She's going to New York.
Nicaragüense tengo 17 y
She's
voy para
17 and she's going to Missouri. She's going to New York. She's 11. Okay, so you see teenage boys and you see teenage girls, maybe a little preteen because one of them was 10, 11, things like that.
Mhm.
But the last child on here absolutely broke my heart because she didn't have nobody with her. All she had was a note.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So here we go.
Venezuela, mamá. Venezuela. ¿Sí? ¿Qué tantos años tienes?
How old are you?
¿Dos?
2.
¿2 años? ¿No vienes con tu mamá y tu papá? ¿No?
No. No
¿Venezuela?
mama, no
¿Para
papa.
dónde vas, mamá? ¿Dónde están? Estados Unidos.
So he asked her, where's your mommy and daddy? She says, the United States. That's what she's saying.
That's crazy. That's
And you see this baby here, even if you don't have children, you got nieces or a cousin,
that's
somebody
insane.
that you've been around that has been that age. So I want to come back on the screen and talk about that.
This is why, okay. That's the reason why I think, or main reason why you and I voted. I'm not even going to speak for you.
Yes.
I'll say for me. I'll say that was one of the main, a big reason why I voted for Trump because I knew, I don't know how anybody could have voted. I'm just going to keep it real. I don't know how anybody could have voted for a woman whose administration lost 325,000 kids. That's crazy to me. And I
And
don't
85K last month, just in
that
1 month.
this is crazy. This is insane. These kids are being trafficked. It's very obvious. We know a lot of them are unalive. They've been sold. That was a baby. That was a baby. And if the parents are here, all of them need to go. All of y'all. I hate to say that. Who the flick leaves? Who the flick puts a baby, sends them to another country by themselves? Like, and it's not like these people don't know what is going on. When I say these people, the people that are not American, the migrants, the illegal aliens. Like somebody put that child,
Who
somebody put that child on that caravan by themselves. Charges need to be. I don't know. That's
Well, I just did a
crazy.
story on the HS, what is it? HHS? Yeah.
Yeah, HHS. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One of their whistleblowers.
Mm-hmm.
And one of their whistleblowers, she said that the United States government is literally the helping hand of the traffickers, and they know it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And they didn't want the optics, so they're just passing these children along. Like that's why so many of them are missing, because they don't want them sitting in cages like Barack Obama had them. And then
Mm-hmm.
you know how they try to blame it on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want them sitting in cages. So they didn't want the optics. So they decided to just keep passing them along. The reason why this reporter went down there like this, the reason why you see this is because they don't allow cameras. So Barack Obama had put in place no cameras inside of those buildings. So the
Mm-hmm.
reporters could not, come in and show the public. So he decided to go right before Border Patrol, takes them.
Okay.
But those are they come with these notes, and apparently that is supposed to be their sponsor.
Right. Right.
They're not checking who these sponsors are. So
Right. I was gonna
some of
say.
these babies, they're labor, they go into labor, and
Mm-hmm.
then some of these babies go into sex trafficking.
Yes. Because
And
they were able to do the DNA test, and then they stopped doing that.
they stopped it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What would be the point? Oh, it takes too long. I don't care. If
Yeah.
you're going, okay, either don't let them in at all, and you
Mm-hmm.
ain't got to worry about it. Or if you're going to let them in, like you've been doing,
Mm-hmm.
at least do them a solid and help them. You're not
Mm-hmm.
helping them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm talking about, the non-criminal one.
Mm-hmm.
You're not helping them. You're not helping that baby at all.
No, that was a baby that, like, she's so lucky she's on camera. I don't know, because I mean,
And that she can
something still
talk.
could
I
happen.
will give it to her. That little girl right there, she was very vocal for a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah,
answered those questions like she was 4.
and she kept
5.
that paper the whole while. What child you give him a piece of
That just
paper?
ran through my mind. That just ran through my mind. And so I have compassion for people, okay? I
Mm-hmm.
do. But at the end of the day, it can't be at the expense of myself, my family's safety. So
Mm-hmm.
when people say, "Oh, people who voted for Trump don't care about other people." Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
100%.
why we don't want open borders.
Exactly.
Because what do you think some of those girls and some of those boys
Mm-hmm.
on these trips, what happens to this? Some of them get picked off
Mm-hmm.
when they're in these caravans. Some of them
Yes,
get picked off by traffickers. Some of them, some of these little girls are getting AR'd on the way here.
it's horrible.
It's not helping
Horrible.
them.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's
And then
absolutely
and then
horrible.
and then they wanna talk about when they come here. So one of the mayors in the Democratic cities, that said they're not, in the sanctuary cities, they said they're not working with Donald Trump. But
Mm,
here's the problem. You say you're not working with Donald Trump, but when you look at it, they're like, "Oh, well, what you round up all these people and send them home, then what are you going to do about the labor force? What are you going to do about the maid jobs and this and that? I said, first of all,
Who said that?
it's mighty racist of you.
He said that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm so because it's extensive,
You know
I
who
have
else
to.
said that? Kelly Osbourne. Remember Kelly Osbourne on the View? Do you remember that? She's like, who's gonna clean your bathrooms?
Look, when you look at it, a liberal child
Oh,
is
no,
one of the most racist people you ever gonna
you're
meet.
racist.
Shout
And
out to Malcolm
those
X.
are the
He told
same,
you.
and those are the same ones mad about the black jobs. I'm like, he's telling the truth. They are taking black jobs.
Like I say all the time when
Because
people ask me, they're like, what's a black job or what's a Hispanic job? I can
it's
tell you what a
any
bunch of
job a
Hispanic
black
jobs is right
person
now.
has. It's any job.
Okay,
He didn't
I can
he
tell
didn't
you.
he didn't say the friggin' maid jobs. He didn't say that. I'm sorry. This isn't funny. I'm sorry.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's funny because this is what they really think of you. They don't care about these people. Right? Like I'm so sympathetic, right? And I'm talking about like, to these women and children that may want to come over here and, and give their children a better life because I know what the Latin countries are like.
Right,
A lot
right.
of them and I know some of these babies, just watching The Sound of Freedom.
Yes, yes.
Even the ones that are over there trying to, do right, the government picking them off, the the cartels is running it and da da da. So I understand. However, it can't be at the expense of everybody else in the other countries.
Right, right,
Right?
right.
So, okay, you want to come here, come the correct way, get a visa. If you could pay a coyote, you could pay to come here and do it right.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's such a labor shortage, which is not, but if
Right,
it's such a labor shortage, get a work visa.
right,
Get these
right.
people work visas,
And you're
right? But you
skipping a
don't do
line.
that. You don't do that
Fair.
because they're not here for that. These companies want to exploit them,
That's what it is.
right?
That's
And
exactly what
so, but when like the point I was making with the whole who's gonna do these jobs, a lot of those quote unquote people working these construction jobs are young boys. A lot of them are minors,
Mhm.
and they're not working it because they want to work it. They're
Yeah.
getting snatched up on these borders, and they're put into labor constructions. It's happening in restaurants. It was a city in, I think, Texas. I think it was Texas. 200 kids. 200 kids
Mhm.
that he saved. That this gentleman that goes undercover saved
Wow, he's doing the Lord's
because
work.
they coming over from the border.
Mhm.
And people putting them in, the worst situations. I mean, even the Haitians,
They take
you
their
know?
passports. They will
Yeah.
have them
Yes.
be like, domestic laborers, domestic workers,
Yes.
will take their
Yes.
passports, or if they have a passport, they may not even have, have
So
a passport.
they're not they're they're trying to be on moral grounds and they're not.
Mhm.
They want free labor. They don't want to pay Americans
Mhm.
because you know what you'll have to pay. There's plenty of Americans that would love these jobs.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
There's nothing wrong with being a maid, and for what they charging nowadays, I know they rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had a maid go clean my house. I'm like, "What? $5.50."
Look, they it's like you said, it's any job that an American has that's been taken by an illegal immigrant, that's a job that was an American job, a black person job, a Hispanic person job, whatever. But like you said, it's not, forget the jobs thing. We've got a bunch of missing kids. We've got kids that are sold into sex trafficking, boys and girls, in young women that are, raped coming across the border, It's gross. It's not cool.
All
And
the children floating in the Rio
that's
Grande.
right. You told me they were floating in the waters. Like it's evil. It's just straight up evil. It needs to be a stop to it. And I'm with you. And again, I don't know who put that baby on that caravan by herself, but that's an evil person because that's an insane
I want to know who this baby name. I really do because and you know probably with the FOIA Act and things like that, you can probably get information to it. But I want to know where she went
I don't know.
because we can visibly see her. I
Mhm.
want to know. I want a reporter or somebody to follow up on that. Where did that baby go?
Because she wasn't gonna go to her parents because it just said the parents were in the United States. How would she know where to send that kid? Like it I don't
I
know.
want to know where these babies going.
That was
Them
crazy.
young girls, those young girls, like
I don't
it's
know.
not, it's horrible. And like I said, I understand wanting to go somewhere for a better life.
Oh, of
Everybody
course,
wants to do
of
better,
course, of course.
right? I assure you, I'm sympathetic to that. But the
Gotta do it
way
the
they're
right way.
doing Americans and these people that are coming over, it is not right.
And you
Like
gotta do
it's
it the right way because it's not fair to all the people that are actually doing it the right way, that takes them years to get legal citizenship.
correct,
No, that's
correct,
not right. No, that's
correct.
not cool.
Correct. So you have Hispanic people because they're like, oh, well, why would you vote? Why would Hispanic people vote for Donald Trump? And when Joy said that old racist nonsense that, oh, when they send your abuelas back, I'm like, ma'am,
They clearly fine with it because every Hispanic
yes,
person I know, they voted for Trump. Every
yes.
my Dominican friend, she been a Trump supporter since 2016. And she's like, man, people don't understand. My family had a good. She came here when she was like 13. She's like, my father had to show that he was gonna live. We were gonna live with his sister, and we wasn't gonna be a burden to the American. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you have a similar story. So no,
The-
she's like she's
my
not with none of this
entire
stuff.
my entire, a lot of my family except for my grandmother, my mother's mother, their 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 parents are their my
Legal.
grandparents are all from, different countries.
Mhm, mhm,
They're immigrants,
mhm,
and then my grandparents are first generation.
mhm.
Cuba,
Yeah,
Poland,
yeah.
you name it. So, yeah, it's just it's a mess. It's a total mess, but I I just feel for babies, like that, like, when I saw her, I was just like, "Oh my god."
Traveled that whole way by herself.
Yes.
Like, what the heck?
Now, mind you,
Like,
my like, if anybody's ever had a toddler, they don't even like walking in the store.
mm-mm. Sent her on there like she was grown. That was crazy.
She
That was
felt like she
crazy.
going too. She was like, "I'm going to the United States, girl."
Period.
They in where your where my mama and papa in the New York. I really truly do hope that baby, somebody,
I hope she goes to I hope she gets
somebody
placed
good
with
get that
someone that
baby.
cares about her. Because whoever
But
sent her on that
they gotta
caravan
close
doesn't
that
care.
border. They
Yeah.
gotta close that border because
Mhm.
it's just it's too much. It's too much. But uh, out of everything, how do you how do you feel about just overall with all the Trump picks and everything, and then what we've been talking about thus far this hour? How do you feel about you know how do you feel about 2025? Do you think things are going to get better? For people that do want to come here, and as well as Americans.
I'm optimistic. Some of the picks
I'm going to put you since this is our final thoughts here. I'm going to put you up by yourself so you can talk.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the picks there were a few picks, and we'll talk about it on my show. I'm not too excited about this. The Surgeon General, because she was very pro-vax, very pro-censorship. So that I'm not feeling that pick. But we know Trump can fire whomever. What I'm most concerned about, and we didn't talk too But we spoke on briefly this World War III stuff. We spoke about it briefly with Tulsi, with Nikki Haley talking about Tulsi Gabbard. I like Tulsi as a pick, but that is concerning for me. But overall, I am optimistic. I know he's already said about a bunch of executive orders that he's going to do day one, which we all got excited about. So overall, I am optimistic. If we can just get to what is it, January 20th inauguration. If we could just get there
without being blown up or
blown
something.
up. We just got, what is it, 5 more days or whatever it is. We could just get there. It will be good. Yeah, that's
oh yeah, I agree with that sentiment, and I just I'm ready to put an end to all this nonsense. But at the end of the day, I do like Trump's picks, and we'll talk about it on your show. But I do like Trump's picks. I don't I don't give anybody just oh, because it's Trump. No, I want to see what
right,
these people are going to do, right?
right,
I
right.
voted for Trump because I do think he's the best, but he still has to do what we asked him to do.
And we're going to
So
hold him accountable.
I was just about to say, I will hold Donald Trump accountable as well. Sir,
Mhm.
if you do not do what you said about the border, you're going to hear it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So but other than that, I think his picks are pretty good. Nobody's gonna like everything that somebody does.
Right.
I didn't like everything he did the first time, and I'm probably not gonna like everything now. But if I can get 70-30, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
with you on that. I'm with you.
I'm fine with that.
Actually, and I'm gonna say this really quick and I'm gonna let you go. I said to a girlfriend of mine, because she's like, I don't know. And she voted Trump too, but she's like, I don't know, because Nick Fuentes is saying that they're not going to deport all these people, blah, 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 blah. I said, well, the criminals, they're going to go. I'm not
If they
worried
start with the criminals, I'm fine.
about the criminals. But this is what I said to her. I said, I want 75%. I want 75% of these people, because my thing is, it's going to flick with the elections. Like Elon said, if you have all these illegals in here, they somehow are able to vote in these elections. It's going to flick up our elections for forever. We'll probably never get.
Yeah, because they're gonna be sneaky on the state side,
Right.
and they're gonna try to get these people in, because they're already doing it with the voter registrations. So.
Yes, get them out of here. And every state, I don't know if Trump has I don't know how it'll get done, because that is kind of like a state level thing. I don't know why we can't just show ID when we go vote.
Oh well, they're gonna introduce that. So
Okay, thank you,
yep,
Nikki.
they've been talking about that. Yep. So
at the very least,
that's because a lot of states are doing the driver's license thing.
Yeah.
Right, where they register you when you go get your driver's license. So if you're allowing illegals to get driver's license,
no, I don't want them
they end up on the register rolls, right?
I don't want them getting driver's license, and I want 75% of these illegals out of here. For me, I'm going to give them some grace. Anything less than 70% is a fail for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why I said at 70. If I can get 70, I'm straight with it.
I'm with you.
Because the vast majority, right? They all broke the law.
Right.
But I always will start with people that are dangerous.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. Because we're going to
if you don't pose a threat right now, I don't see a need to raise resources right now when you got people like the MS-13 in Trinidad. You have all those people. Get them first.
They gotta go,
because they're even terrorizing the migrants.
They gotta go. Yeah,
they gotta go.
They extort people.
So
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, so start there, and then you can focus on everybody else and figure out who they are. Okay, you're all right. You want to do what? All right, yeah, cool. You can come back in the correct way because you haven't did a crime. You haven't did any of that. So okay, cool. You want to come back? Fine. You got to do it the correct way though.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
And I'm okay with them coming back as long as they do it legally.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't have an issue.
And I'll say this one last point.
Immigrants. Mm-hmm.
Fix the daggone immigration laws so people don't have to wait 90,000 years.
Yeah, I don't know too much
To
about
where
that.
they
I know
feel
it's
like
a
they
long
gotta they feel like they gotta jump the border or whatever. Well,
Mhm.
it started with Bill Clinton, and Bill
Okay.
Clinton decided to, mess up it always needed fixing, but it 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 skyrocketed when he
Okay.
came up with this law called IRA, and it backlogged all of the immigration processes and all of this stuff. It's a mess, and they haven't fixed it since.
Oh, okay. I got you.
So, yeah, but yeah, so people, that want to come in and be productive members of society, because do I believe that there are some in there? Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
But
I'm with you.
but you know, if you're going to let me in illegally, why would I do all that?
And you can't. We don't know who wants to come and work and who don't want to come and work. You can't
Right, and this way
discriminate.
you can vet people.
Exactly.
And my most famous, and the point I care about the most, you can stop child trafficking.
Yes. Yes. I'm with you. Because this is
You
out of
know,
control. What's happening with these kids?
yeah,
It's.
if these babies need help, okay,
Mhm.
they need help. Because we send money to Africa for babies over there and things like that. Okay, cool. Um, I'm with it, but no, just letting them just be free at the border as a 2-year-old. No,
It's
but
crazy.
again, I'm gonna get off of it before I get angry. Uh, I want to thank everybody for watching. As always, I want to thank my girl Kelly for coming on. And I just hope you guys have a good Monday, have a good start to the week. And I will be doing a bunch of videos this week because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people next I need to stay on. So it will be, it's going to be a good week. But I thank everyone for watching. And I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you, Kelly, as always.
Bye, everyone.
All right. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out.